सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Political Adda, our weekly show. In this episode, we are going to discuss how self-styled Sikh preacher Amritpal Singh is keeping Punjab on edge. We have with us Professor Manjit Singh, a sociologist who taught at Punjab University. He is also the former director of Amritpal Center. And my colleague in Chandigarh, Chitleen. So Chitleen, let me start with you. This Amritpal Singh phenomenon, for people who are outside Punjab who might not have actually given much attention to him, what is this Amritpal Singh phenomenon? Who is he? Where did he come from?
DK, actually, not much is actually known about him, except that the story which all of us have read about, that he basically belongs to Punjab. His family had gone to Dubai, and they were there for 10 years, where he was helping his family with the transport business there. We really don't have much information about his other family members, about any brother or sisters, or what his parents are doing right now. What we really know is that he actually emerged out of nowhere on the Punjab scene some months ago, and he claimed the legacy of Deep Sidhu. Deep Sidhu, as you would recall, had himself emerged during the farmers' agitation. He's a Punjabi actor. He turned into a Khalistan ideologue, and during the farmers' agitation, brought a lot of attention on himself. But he died in a car accident early this year. So his outfit, called the Viraste Khalsa. So Amritpal comes from Dubai, claims legacy of Deep Sidhu, says that he's the head of the Viraste Khalsa, and then he has his own band of people supporting him, and he's been talking about radicalization. He has been moving about villages in Punjab. Till a few months ago, he was not even a baptized Sikh. He was what we call in common parlance a Katsar, and but he donned the attire of a baptized Sikh. He also got his Dastar Bandi done in a huge ceremony, and now he's taken up the cause of social reformation and religious reformation in Punjab. So this is what we really know about him, like per se.
So is he getting a lot of traction? Because I was just reading your story last week, where I could see like all politicians, prominent politicians, expressing concern about this Amritpal Singh phenomenon. You have Manjit here calling him duplicate Bhindranwale. You have Captain Amrinder Singh not specifically mentioning his name, but expressing concern about the repeat of the dark days of terrorism in Punjab. Then you have Lakshmikant Chawla. She has been expressing concern about this phenomenon. Many other leaders have been speaking about it. Ravneet Singh Bittu, many other MPs. Point is, what is it in Amritpal Singh that's making everybody so concerned about the situation in Punjab?
DK, we'll have to look at this whole thing. First, of course, what I told you briefly was his emergence on the Punjab scene. Now leading to his rise. So there seems to be, yes, there is some traction he has. He is having some amount of following in certain pockets of Punjab and in a certain section of people in Punjab. So there is no doubt that he is gaining popularity, and he started this Khalsa Bahir, a traditional form of Khalsa march, in which the Guru Granth Sahib was carried in a vehicle from across Punjab with a lot of respect and with all the attendant sacredness. And he went from village to village, went into gurdwaras, addressed people, and talked about a lot of things. Largely, he has been talking about that he wants to bring people out, the Sikh youth from drugs. So I think that bit, so there is even what he's saying, there are two aspects of what he has been talking about. So the first aspect is more of social and religious reformation. Social reformation in terms of that he wants to take the Sikh youth out of drugs. So that has a lot of resonance with the people, especially women who are mothers to sons who are deeply addicted into drugs. And so he has that kind of traction when he talks about social reformation and also to some extent religious reformation. So he's talking about taking Sikh youth back into the fold of Sikhism. He's been attacking the conversion into Christianity. He has been talking about the fact that we must go back to the more Puritan or the more original form of Sikhism, and people need to follow the moral code of conduct for the Sikhs very stringently. So these two aspects of his speeches or what is of his message has found resonance in some section of Sikhs in Punjab and in certain geographical pockets of the state. This
Yeah. Yes, Chitleen, please.
the second aspect, which is a little more problematic, which is where you have these reactions coming in, which is getting people worried, is that in the same breath, while he talks about social reformation and religious reformation, he's also talking about Khalistan. He's also talking about the setting up of the Khalsa Raj, a separate Sikh state. And he openly says that he's following the footsteps of Sikh militant Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. And he's also talking about weaponizing or telling the Punjabi or the Sikh youth to weaponize themselves, to have shastar. So weapons or the carrying of arms has been a very long-standing, Sikh tradition. And he's telling the youth to weaponize themselves to make sure that they carry arms. And he's also talking about display of these arms. So he says, if you are carrying shastar, so unna da prakash hona chahiye, which means you should be displaying them. He's also been talking about display of arms and weapons within gurdwaras. So second, when he talks about Khalistan, then in the same breath, he talks about weaponizing the Sikh youth. And then he's also talking about the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice, that are you ready to give up your heads for the sake of your religion? Are you ready to give up your heads for the sake of the Guru? So when he talks about these things, so then there is a problem which emerges, and a lot of people start comparing him to Bhindranwale, and they think that he is not good news for Punjab. And Punjab, there are a lot of people in Punjab who still remember the dark days of militancy, and so that second bit of his speeches, that the second part, leads people. So that is where the opposition is coming from. It is coming from a large number of Sikhs within Punjab. It is coming, of course, needless to say, it is scaring the Hindus of Punjab. And it's also scaring a lot of Sikhs living outside Punjab. So when you talk about Khalistan, the big question is what will happen to those Sikhs? So there is a large section of Sikhs and non-Sikhs which have a problem with that particular bit of his preachings or his speeches.
Professor Singh, are these concerns about Amritpal Singh valid or exaggerated?
I think, it's not as straightforward. Many people think that all of a sudden, from where this young man comes, who was shorn of hair and he was not wearing this beard and all those things. It's a very recent phenomenon. Only 3 months back, when he they are appeared before the Anandpur Sahib Gurdwara, and they are. That's the time when first time I listened to him, and after that going to Rode, he has taken this what we call as a Amrit, what is a baptization and all that into a formal Sikh. So it's as a recent phenomena, you can say, at a very early stage. But it baffles all of us that how come that a person who was working there, and he's not much literate as well, I think 12 past and whatever, he went there as a worker, and suddenly he claims to be a leader, or at least he's projecting to be a leader of entire Sikh masses and giving a direction to the Sikh ethics, Sikh politics, Sikh culture, Sikh history. He's interpreting in his own way. At the ground level, as Chitleen was saying, two things are there. One thing, people generally support him, that as far as his religious part is concerned, baptization, weaning away Sikh youth from drugs and all that, because certainly there's a social, cultural, and economic crisis. To that extent, people support him. But suddenly, when he takes a turn to politics, there comes a lot of problems. We too, whenever we debate on Amritpal, our very, very elementary, fundamental question, you can say, is that if he wishes to have Khalistan, what is its blueprint? Whether it is possible, what is its roadmap? I mean, what will you do better than what we are living with India and all that? What is your strategy? What will be your politics? What will be your really, all those things? There's nothing, I mean, nothing to share, just to say that we want Khalistan. Khalistan won't be given on a platter. You have to be, even if you think of, I mean, first of all, he has to prove how the life and social life and politics and economy will be far better than the present scenario. So he is to prove, now he has to give argument. Nothing is argued in public like that. From there comes the real needle of suspicion that whether whatever he's claiming, really he mean it also or not. For instance, weaponization and all that, to that extent, it is all right. But to speak against, venomously against Christianity in Punjab, and they had to protest. They had to block GT Road at Jalandhar in order to register their protest, Christians of Punjab. Mostly they are Dalits. So, to create that type of atmosphere, other anti-minorities, when we criticize, then he has withdrawn that part. But at somewhere, it is a call for another Sikh theocratic state. So, is it a really from a democratic setup, from a system where you go by not simply religious ethics or religiosity or that type of decrees which sometimes are just imposed, but you go by the argument, tark, what we call as tark, which means reason. But another thing which make him controversial, let me before you raise any next query, is that he already started imposing the fundamentalist type of principles, which is against the Sikhism. For instance, you cannot you cannot have a chair or furniture sitting in the gurdwaras because it's a disrespect to the holy Granth Sahib. And that to that extent asking, because that even SGPC also has said, they have resolved it long back, that it does not look like. But you have to answer the people who are handicapped, people who are on a wheelchair, who cannot sit. There are aged people who for whole of their life, they have lived with these values of Sikhism. They have visited regularly to the Gurdwaras. They have deep faith in that type of belief system. But why to deprive them? Why to discriminate them and tend to tell them that you sit in the outside of the sacrosanctum, whatever inside the Gurdwara, which is known as a holy space or that. So you sit outside in that will be discriminatory. I don't think that is Sikhism.
The question here is, what does it tell us about today's Punjab? That suddenly somebody comes from somewhere and within months he's becoming popular, if I may use that term. I mean, why is he gaining so much traction? What does it tell us about today's Punjab?
I don't think it is actually a space which has been created by two different type of systems. One is our political parties. The failure of political parties have given rise to a major political upheaval from the ground level. If you visit Punjab, you must have to plan, just like whether you plan whether there is a snowfall or there is a blockage of roads and all that. This is what in Punjab now. You have to really plan which are the roads today blocked by the farmers, by the protesters and all that. That is a space which has been created by the failure of the former political parties. The ground level, really groundswell at the level of andolans and movement which is going on at various places, even now, and it's going to intensify. That is due to what I feel is a loss of trust in governance by the formal political party. That's the one space has been created, which is being projected to be occupied by Khalistan or whatever that will be a final Sikh Raj, better Raj, and that. Second is at the SGPC level. They too have not done their due, which was expected out of them, and that now, even now, the language of Akal Takht Jathedar Gyani Hapri Singh ji or Amritpal, which we expected there should be a difference. Strangely enough, they are speaking the same language.
Chitleen, coming to Chitleen, just tell us, this man is moving around with a band of followers who carry weapons. He openly talks about Khalistan. How come the government of Punjab is not taking any action against him? We have not even heard any Aam Aadmi Party leader expressing concern or even talking about this phenomenon. Why is the government silent?
No, you're right. It's the silence from the Aam Aadmi Party is certainly deafening, to say the least. The only comment, in fact, which was made by the Speaker of the Punjab Assembly, Gulzar Singh Sandhu, he said, in fact, he was supporting what Amritpal was doing, and he said that when
supporting Amritpal.
Yes, not Amritpal per se. He was asked a question of weaponization of this whole move to weaponize the Sikh youth. So he said that when the weapons are in the hands of the wrong people, so then it becomes some kind of a gangster emerges or a gangster is born. But when it is in the hands of the Sikhs, it is a Sant Sipahi or a saint soldier who emerges. So the only, in fact, if this response is to be taken as the government's official response, then of course it's they are in some kind of silently supporting what he's doing. Secondly, there is a logic which when you privately talk to these people, publicly nobody has said a word. There has been no official comment by the Chief Minister. He has been asked several times. There has been no comment from him. There has been no comment from the Punjab DGP. So Punjab DGP has in fact been saying that as long as he does not go beyond the thin line that divides hate speech and freedom of speech, we will not take any action. So whatever Amritpal has been saying is still considered or is being considered to be his right of or his freedom to speech. But interestingly, when you talk to them privately, so while some of the leaders talk about some kind of a strategy, a long-term strategy to maybe counter him or see that things don't take a ugly turn or things don't take a violent turn, so it does not become a violent movement towards the cause of Khalistan.
Professor Singh, what are your views on this?
Nobody wants to take a risk. Moreover, there is a one from the Supreme Court, there is a one judgment that to ask for Khalistan from the stages, to even shout slogans is not anti-national and it's not illegal or anti-constitution. Even the Shromani Akali Dal Amritsar, Simranjit Singh Mann, openly they shout slogans of though he's a MP, but still their followers shout slogans for Khalistan, leke rahenge Khalistan, Khalistan Jindabad, and they carry all that type of political agenda. But they never, the Supreme Court judgment say that unless somebody really work for it, actually plan, and you cannot simply saying that it is a sort of a freedom of speech, what Chitleen is saying. Second thing is that Aam Aadmi Party itself, I think people had a lot of expectations, people have a lot of hopes. They brought them with big number, 42% of votes and 92 MLA. It's not a small. I think even the traditional parties have never had such a large number, maybe once in a while, maybe one or two exceptions, but otherwise in independent India, there's such massive support. But after that, expectations are equally high. They are actually they have been rendered ineffective. There's no governance. Actually, law and order is a big problem. That's why people are losing hope in this government, and they are taking, their own ways of making governance effective. That their ways is like Dharna. GT road was 5 days blocked totally. Can you imagine that a road which is so busy for 5 minutes, if you block with the accident, or 10 minutes, there's a hue and cry. There's a huge 5 days. So it means what you are saying, DKG, it's I agree that governance is sort of missing, very weak. They are not seen anywhere. People can't feel them. There is somebody who's governing us. That wide, the weak government, the inexperienced government also is one of the reasons that Punjabi people can't go back to they don't want to easily go to BJP politically, or Akali Dal or Congress. Maybe under certain circumstances, they have to vote somewhere. And when they are disenchanted with the present party, that political space is also being created for this type of what Amritpal and others are claiming to be.
So my question is, when we talk about Amritpal Singh and Punjab government silence, does it show complicity, or does it show ineffectiveness and indifference?
Complicity, very difficult to say. I would say rather ineffectiveness, and also somewhere just to touch upon this, sore point where people can easily be on the basis of religion can be highly inflammable. There could be a lot of anger, which they think that they are not in a position to really face it. And moreover, see, any governance really is a matter of trust, and people are losing trust very fast in this government. For instance, this Bargadi issue, the Shri Guru Granth Sahib's, that whatever happened in the past, the tearing it leaves and all that, disrespect to the Holy Grail. So all that, two Sikhs were martyred, and those justice for the 7 years, there is no way out, seems to be, but people were expecting from this government. So all these things, starting with that, now even Kisans, farmers, all that, really, I think they are too weak to really handle such a situation, phenomena, which what we call as Amritpal phenomenon.
So let me take one question from one viewer. He's saying, do you think failure to control law and order situation and financial condition of Punjab will dampen the Aam Aadmi Party's prospects to fight nationally against BJP, as they have failed to provide a good governance model in a full state, full and sensitive state like Punjab? I think I can answer in just one word: absolutely. Because when Kejriwal talks about nationalism being his ideology, and then his party remains silent when people are talking about Khalistan in Punjab, that puts a big question mark on their commitment and the way they are handling Punjab. So everybody, when Aam Aadmi Party is talking about Delhi model of governance, now they will have to prove their Punjab model of governance. Taking another question, Professor Singh, this is Ashutosh Gupta. He's asking, in earlier times, Bhindranwale was indirectly promoted by SGPC, Yani Jail Singh and others. In 1970s, there were many unsolved issues. SYL Canal, which is still a problem. Chandigarh is capital. Then he is saying, who are all behind the rise of these politicos religious extremists today? And what are the triggers? Is it unemployment, migration? Why is it happening now?
No, I don't think I will start with the last, unemployment and all that. That in any case, I mean, in all the states are there. Unemployment is not only in Punjab. But only thing, one ray of hope is that Punjabi boys, they have resources that they migrate abroad in lakhs, in hordes. So that is the escape. For other states, youth from other states, that escape is also not available to them because they are too poor. Second thing, what Kejriwal model, the first question which I would say is, I think Punjab can't be a model anymore. If it will be a model in the 2024 elections, it will be a model, negative model. Punjab model will provide a negative image to Kejriwal, not to a positive. I don't think they can claim, and the way now it is just a 9 months old, 10 months old. They started in March last year, and they have not completed in even 1 year, and the type of resistance, protest, type of distrust which is being expressed everywhere openly. I don't think this is going to become a model. Even the way they demagogically made 7 promises, 8 promises, they are not somewhere even yet started on working on those promises. One thing, only thing which they did it partially is giving free electricity. We already were giving free electricity to the people to the tune of 16,000 crore. Now it will become eventually 20,000 crore. And we are a state with a small budget. It's not sustainable. They are going to increase the now electricity rates, the charging rates. So I think that was the only out of all the promises. If you are not even started after 9 months on the promises you made, and people are asking where are those promises, I don't think Kejriwal as a national face of Aam Aadmi Party as a prime ministerial candidate is going to be a success. Moreover, even if you look at politically, there's a space with the BJP that has a strong, big network, and which is in the name of Hindu Rashtra, that type of a politics. And if they are already at it, how can he enter into similar type of a discourse, political discourse on the similar type of lines that I will give free access, railway access, or this, that, transport, free transport to Ram Mandir, and I will make Uttarakhand as a global place, destination of pilgrimage, Hindu pilgrimage, all these things talking. I don't think he can cut much ice. And the worst thing, which people generally don't talk, this type of politics, which is a one-man show. In such a vast country, in such a big country, you cannot have one-man show. Everything is concentrated in the hand of Kejriwal. It's a Kejriwal party. It's not an Aam Aadmi party. Aam Aadmis are outside the pale of this type of politics. So it is now people are realizing it is against Aam Aadmi Party, anti-Aam Aadmi Party, and it's a Kejriwal party. That is, I don't think, and in a new places like somewhere, they can sometimes swayed away through his demagogic talk, because the type of person he is, populism and all that, at that he is quite successful.
Chitleen, let me come to you. There is another question from one of our viewers. Do you think a party like BJP might take this opportunity to increase its stronghold in Punjab by highlighting the Punjab government's incompetence and for not being able to control law and order situation in the state?
Electorally, I don't think BJP has too much of a ground or a base here. So electorally, it might not be possible for BJP to make inroads into Punjab, because these are very core Sikh issues. These are very core religious issues, and BJP being a more of is always been seen as a Hindu party. So there is a natural divide there. So as long as they were with the Shiromani Akali Dal, which was a naturally Sikh party, they came to power, and they were in power. But on their own, to be able to rule a Sikh dominant state might not be possible, though they have been trying a lot, and there has been a lot of effort going on. First, they tried to in fact, they continue to have this, make inroads through the RSS, which clearly failed in Punjab. They have not been able to do it at all. Now they've taken some prominent Sikh leaders into their fold. A large number of Congress men have joined. Captain Amrinder is there, and so many other leaders have joined. But to be able to come to power on their own in Punjab, on the ground that the Aam Aadmi Party has failed, because of because of law and order or other things, the Punjab's financial situation might not be immediately possible. That is,
I know, Professor Singh, you have a packed schedule today. I won't take much time. Just let me wind up with one last question. So when we started, you started tracing this entire issue, this rise of radicalism, to a kind of political, vacuum in politics there. So people were getting disillusioned with established parties. Now they saw hope in the Aam Aadmi Party, and now you are saying that this disillusionment with Aam Aadmi Party is already setting in. So again, we come back to the political vacuum. Which way is Punjab heading now?
Nobody has a solid answer to this type of a question. People are just seeing two situations could emerge. One is even BJP can hope somehow. I don't just brush away. It can't be, because the way they are trying to recruit Sikh faces, so that that traditional Hindu-Sikh divide, they are very conscious, and they want, and people will think, I mean, if people are also thinking, if a person like Kejriwal, who is also not much different than the BJP, there's not a much difference politically, that you, after all, what people want, they want a strong political party that should have a good governance, and that should save Punjab from the present ongoing different type of crisis. That's what people want. I don't rule out, though possibility is remote, not easy, but both BJP and people may tend to think at the ultimate end. There is a time, 4 years time. I'm not talking about 2024. It's a different ball game. But the next assembly elections, there's a 4 years in between. So they may think. What was the second part of the question?
Listen, which way is Punjab heading now? Now you have...
Yes, the second part.
Political vacuum.
Yeah, second part may be chaos. Second part may be chaos. It will be very sad. The way now, real governance, the power, which generally state claims to have power, it's not with the state. It's people's writ in Punjab which is going on. Nobody can challenge. Any 100 people, 200 people, they can go, stand, ask. Nobody dares to give challenge to those people. So if this is a state of affairs, there could be chaos. There could be lawlessness further. It's already, there are gangsters who are asking for frothies and money. Ransom. They are asking for ransom. Huge amount, not, recently one already has been killed. Nakodar, one for 30 lakh rupees. and 45 lakh rupees only 2 days back. They were asked, they were caught. So this is also going on, drug and all that. Punjab, it's a very sad Punjab that has a really good potential actually to give a hope to the rest of India for a good politics. But at the moment, the way things are going on, they are more haywire rather than taking any definite direction.
On this note, we have to wind up this discussion. It's unfortunate that we have to wind up on this note of uncertainty and fear and apprehension. Thank you, Professor Manjit Singh, for joining us, and thanks, Chitleen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us. Please stay tuned. We'll be back with another episode of Political Adda next week.